Hello. Wait. Okay. Um, I wish I had started. Oh, wait. Give me a second. Okay. Testing one, two. Oh, why does it look like? Why does it? Okay, whatever. Um. Okay. Cool. Um. VI. Okay. Cool. 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 No, we're good. We're good. So. Um. I can barely hear it. What the Hey, welcome to the stream. This was coming to Twitch. Let me make sure I'm gonna eyeball this. Okay, so I decided that this is probably, I know exactly what I was gonna say on this. This is probably going to be the last video I do on AI. Like, this is probably gonna be like my last commentary on the whole thing, right? Oh wow, it's like that's a me problem. Okay, so yeah, just probably gonna be like the last thing I try to like talk about AI because I feel like um, it's much better if it comes out of an expert, like somebody who knows better, than it does come out of me. And so, and the video's gonna be there. I'll just link to the video. It's a pretty good video. It's an interview. Um, there was this person. Uh, it, I'm not gonna pronounce her name because I'm afraid I'm gonna butcher it. Um, I I'm just gonna let the I'm just gonna let the interview run. A comment on it a couple of times. Not sure when I'm gonna do that, like stepping in comment, but like um, the things I've been saying about AI. Like I watched this video like a day or two ago. In fact, hold on, when did this video come out? I say a day or two ago. Yeah. I watched this video a day or two ago, and this is it kind of confirms just all the stuff that I've already said about like AI in a lot of ways and more because she goes into specifics, right? She used to I'll let the interview like talk um, for herself, but this is probably like the last thing I need to ever like comment. Like after this, that's it. I'm never gonna comment about AI ever again because you know uh uh, I like it when experts are out there talking about the issue better than I am. I don't like it when other people are commenting on the issue, right? Um, and saying like what have you. Um, and like I know what I'm talking about, but clearly other people don't know what they're talking about. And after this expert talks about it, like this is this is my reference point. Like this video is my reference point because um it makes perfect, like not only does she talk about what I already kind of knew about AI, but like she goes into all the troubling things that um that are out there in terms of AI to explain like what's the problem with like the AI that's being marketed to everybody and sold to everybody today, right? My biggest my biggest, I I watched this and I thought to myself, man, it's gonna crash. Like I already knew it was gonna crash, but now that I know in detail, like just how like what's going on, I'm surprised. Like it's been taking too long. It's been taking way too long, and not only that, but like God, they lie so much. Like everybody lies so much, you know. I legitimately think that um now I legitimately think that the AI race is not real, and like AGI, is it AGI, artificial intelligence, yeah, AGI, um it's not that big of a deal as they make it out to be. I genuinely think that like a lot of people out there don't know what they're talking about when they market this stuff. um AI is more useless um than I actually may have thought. That's new information. It's even more useless than I thought. Um, like a lot of the stuff about like people losing their jobs and stuff like that. I still think people are gonna have jobs after AI, even now more than ever. Like there's no way. There's no way. It's literally copy. Oh, anyways, so um, you know, people might think this is a hot take. I'm like, let people think what they want. I don't give a shit. It is, but I know what I know, and now it's coming from an expert. Just like how, um, remember the beat fighting problem and how I was like, oh, you know, people should be rebutting is fraud. Actually, I already said my piece about AI, about how AI is not that great at what it does. But yeah, just this is the last. This hopefully will be the last conversation about AI, and I'll put together. I'm not even gonna worry anymore. I'm just gonna wait now until things finally go south. I hope. Um, Damn. You know what I also thought? I thought to myself, damn, NVIDIA. I think in the long run, you may have screwed the pooch. Um, AI does have applications, but and so people are probably gonna still be on it. But the investment in it doesn't seem like nearly as worth it as people make it out to be. You know, if jeez. Maybe an NVIDIA will be okay. I overestimated that one. I take that one back. It's a wait and see situation. I can't imagine if people still buy into this. It's gonna be funny. It's really gonna be funny. Anyways, let's watch the video. I've said enough. I said more than enough.
It's not just about the ethics of, what kind of data you have, whether it's terrible, toxic text from the dark web or whether you've stolen it from people or not. Machine learning 101 is that you don't test on your training set, right? So if you're testing how well your model is doing on a specific task, you have to make sure that the data in the test set does not have overlap with the training set, because otherwise it's like studying to the test.
Something I had to eyeball one.
Hello and welcome to Why Is This Happening with me, your host Chris Hayes, and welcome back to our special With Pod series where we take an examination of AI and all of the embedded questions, complications, themes, worries, aspirations relating to our economy, our society, our culture, the technical implications, the philosophical implications. This has been a really joyful project for me because I like learning stuff and I feel like I'm getting somewhere, and I hope you guys feel the same way too. There's lots of ways in which the AI discourse can feel I had a friend who's a therapist who said it gave her the feeling of avoidance, which I thought was interesting. And I can get that too sometimes, but then when you sort of pierce through that and do it in the way that I think you've been trying to do, I've really been enjoying it. One of the challenges in the whole discourse is basically this. There's a bunch of really fairly complex and sophisticated technical questions that can be, I think, a little difficult for people who are non-technicians to get their arms around. The people that have expertise, almost in as a matter of sheer self-selection, and B, financial incentives, tend to be pretty big boosters of the technology. And again, I don't say that because I think people have bad motivations necessarily. I think that, like, if you're working 100 hours a week at like Anthropic and have the possibility of like hundreds of millions of dollars in future wealth from it, like, you're going to be like, yeah, this is great. And so it can be hard to find people that do have real technical expertise, have worked in AI and around machine learning particularly, and large language models and things like that, that are more skeptical of the development of the technology in the way it's being developed right now specifically. Embedded in the companies is embedded using this kind of hyperscaler model of ever more data training that has more and more resources attached to it. And also in a specific, we should say, very distinct sociological milieu, which is the hothouse world of Silicon Valley and the frontier labs, which are overwhelmingly male. They are places in which Black folks and Latino folks particularly are incredibly underrepresented. They are places that have a very specific, distinct, and I think pretty acute culture around them that are part of the embedded universe that all of these very consequential decisions are getting made.
I think it's very good that he mentions that. Oh jeez, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, they've just been selling it too hard. Like, I get it, but like at the same time, it's like yeah, it just actually, she explains this later on in the interview, like why, like, that the fact that they aren't experts out there like talking to the public about what's the true nature of this kind of stuff, and that's that's really who, like, it shouldn't come from a person like me. It should come from like an expert, and mainly the reason why like I do it is because the void there exists. Like the void exists, and now that the void, now that like she shouldn't be the only one to fill it, right? But she's there, right? So now, like, I feel like I don't have to talk anymore about it, and it's so free. Like I mean, I wasn't being forced to talk about it, but like it's great that I don't have to talk about it anymore, because she does it way better than I could ever,
And so my guest today is someone who you may have heard of a few years back. There was a story that kind of came out about her leaving Google, where she was co-lead of the ethical AI research team. She published a paper that Google kind of disavowed, and she had to kind of retract. And this was the first inklings, all before ChatGPT, this years ago, of some of the kind of rumblings of discontent within people working in AI about the trajectory it's on. Since then, she's gone on to do a bunch of really interesting things. She's right now the founder and executive director of the Distributed AI Research Institute, which is also known as the DARE Institute. Her name is Timnit Gebru. She has a PhD from Stanford University. She's been working in computer science, tech, and AI for most of her career. Timnit, it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me. So much to discuss. So
can I want to talk about the paper and this paper that you co-authored and the critiques embedded in it, because they have, I think, in some ways proved to be prophetic, and also have created a kind of, let's say, a tendency or faction in the AI wars, right? Because this is the discourse actually is pretty polarized. So it's one important part of understanding the kind of discourse around this technology. But before we get to that, I'm curious why you were attracted to thinking about these problems at an intellectual level. I believe it was like vision, right, that you were first sort of working on. But like, what is enticing about it as an intellectual problem to solve or think about?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about it as an interesting technical problem. I mean, when I was taking classes in computer vision, we were working on things like pedestrian detection, and now you're thinking, oh my God, that sounds like surveillance. That sounds terrible. Why are you interested in pedestrian detection? I wasn't thinking like that. I'm like, so cool. Look at how many pedestrians I detected. And imagine, I mean, I remember looking at a program that could identify the number of coins that you have in an image. I don't know if other people would be super interested in stuff like this, but I'm like, oh my God, I could write a program that counts, that circles, that puts circles around each of those coins, you know? So a lot of people in the
So, she's kind of right about that. Like like um, um, it when you're working on that kind of stuff, um, you're not. It's just different scenarios to do different things. Like you're not thinking about actually, like for instance, actually surveilling people with AI. You're thinking about what's about what the computer can do that it wasn't able to do before. It can recognize things. Um, when you use a camera, right? Um, the the computer isn't recognizing anything. It's just taking pictures of what's in front of the camera. It doesn't like recognize like it doesn't recognize individual things on the screen. And that's what like AI and machine learning and all that other stuff. She gets into all of that. That's what basically she's trying to do. She wasn't thinking about surveilling people. She was thinking about like what the computer could do now that it couldn't do before, thanks to this technology.
this field, I feel are like me. You know, we come to it from a really interesting puzzle solving, how can I solve this puzzle, technical interest. And so you mentioned a little bit about, you know, financial incentives. And now if your technical interest intersects with something that people claim is the most important thing to work on, sign me up. And then they say like, you know, you have to be paid $1 million a year because it's the most important thing to work on in the world. I mean, why wouldn't I want that, right? So that's kind of a lot of what we're dealing with right now. But I wanted to answer your question more broadly. When I entered the field of AI, I didn't even think about it as AI because back then, most of us identified ourselves with the specific specialty that we were working on. So I would say I worked on computer vision. I wouldn't really say I worked on AI because what I worked on was very different, for example, from people in machine learning. And people in machine learning would say that they worked in machine learning. They wouldn't say AI. In fact, machine learning was not considered AI because I'm gonna like roll back a little bit. AI is this marketing term that, you know, you have a bunch of collection of things that are upgraded and downgraded from AI. So when one of these things is somehow gets really good performance in a benchmark or something, it gets upgraded to AI. And then when we have what we call the AI winters, where nobody cares about AI anymore, or you have unfulfilled promises, it gets downgraded. So for example, in the 80s, machine learning was not what people were calling AI. It was these things called expert systems. Nobody calls expert systems AI right now, right? So back then, the machine learning people were pretty annoyed that all of their papers get rejected by so-called AI.
Okay, so expert systems. Yeah, okay. Interesting that she says that. Expert systems. Did I even say that? Is that really relevant? You know what? I'm not even going to say anything because I did it. I'm just going to keep everything.
Journals. So they created their own journals. So this is the kind of history we're talking about, right? So.
Wait, I want to ask you about that though, because I think what I'm hearing in your description of that is a description of fashion. Things come in and they come out of fashion.
Exactly.
Well, but isn't there an argument that partly it's progress in this sense? Like the expert systems sort of failed to deliver. The machine learning stuff, you know, there were big debates within this world, right? About sort of rule-based systems, expert systems, neural networks and large language models, which was going to kind of be able to kind of replicate the things that we want the most, right? You know, whether that's passing a Turing test and sounding like human or being able to give you usable identifications of pedestrians or whatever it is. And it seems to me like one of those theories got borne out. It was not the one that was very popular at a certain point. In fact, for a long time, the kind of like the neural network and sort of machine learning people and the kind of like just get a bunch of big data, do pattern recognition, iterate, were kind of like the dead end. But then the dead end kind of had breakthroughs and the other people looked like a dead end, right? I mean, there was actual progress, I guess.
Right. So that's what I want to say is that every time there is a specific kind of progress on a specific benchmark, that thing that makes that progress ends up being called AI, right? So for example, when you have something that wins a chess match against humans, that becomes AI, and then it doesn't become AI anymore because that progress is no longer thought of as so-called AI. So it's both some amount of progress in specific things and going in and out of fashion, because there's a specific thing that people associate with AI, which is this nebulous thing that they don't think it's something that is solvable by a machine. And once that thing proves to be maybe solvable, and like we have to get into this too because there's a lot of hype too, there's a lot of claims that are unsubstantiated as well. But once things are solvable, then they become AI. But the thing is that a lot of times I advocate for not using the term AI and being very specific about what we're talking about. So for example, speech recognition, where all we do is transcribe the speech, right? Very clear definition of input, output, what the thing is supposed to do. I would just call it speech recognition. So you make progress on speech recognition, that's great. Machine translation is one, translating from one language to another, or face recognition is another specific thing. Right now, all of these things are lumped into AI along with ChatGPT, right? Along with video generation and things like that. And so when we lump all of these things into AI, it just makes the conversation very difficult because when we're talking about the harms of AI, which harms of which AI are we talking about? We're talking about cancer detection with very specifically trained image recognition models, or are we talking about mimicking a human, which is a very dangerous thing to do? I'm realizing you've learned a lot from your from your series because Weizenbaum, Weizenbaum warned about mimicking of humans because his very simple Eliza chatbot was very dangerous. He saw how people were getting attached to it.
This is one of the first chatbots that's produced. Is it in the 1970s, I think? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very basic. It has these like super basic. It's basically if you program it all, it's just like a case programming, right? Like if they say one of these things, say one of these things. Sort of a finite set of steps. So extremely rudimentary, right? If a bunch of if-then statements, case statements. But it turned out again, people had not done this before, and you gave it to them, and when people first interacted with this, again, extremely rudimentary. Anyone learning coding could probably do this, very early on. People were like, "Whoa! The machine is talking to me. It's alive.
And they got very attached to it. And so Weizenbaum spent the rest of his life warning about these kinds of systems, warning about people, what we would call, I guess, AI boosters right now. So I highly respect him because he is someone who understood the issues with the thing that he built and was warning about him. And unfortunately, we have very few of those people right now because, like, if you talk about Stanford, for example, my alma mater, Stanford.
Before she gets into this, before she gets into this, because that's actually very important too. Okay, so yeah, speech recognition. It's true. Speech recognition, like when they talk about AI, they don't talk about the it's a marketing term. Like, as she says, like there's speech recognition, there's face recognition. So here's an interesting thing that I think people don't know that that would be very enlightening for people to know. Okay, so because these discussions aren't discussed in the proper way, some people think like some people, for example, think that all AI is bad, right? Because their understanding of it is very limited. And the thing about that is that there are certain, so it does make it very hard to have a discussion. So, for example, so machine learning is part of AI. Machine learning is basically like giving the machine a model to like learn, and then it's machine learning is face recognition, right? I forget exactly what it's called. It's not just face recognition. It's a, I think it's called like face keying or something like that. I forget the exact term. If I look it up right now, I can probably find it. I know. I would know exactly where to look. Hold on. In fact, give me a second. Watch me Google the thing. While I'm doing it, this might take me a while though. That's the thing I wanted to avoid. If it's gonna take me a while, then I'm just gonna back out of it. But this should be easy. That's why I think. Actually, let me look at the documentation. Landmark. Face landmark detection. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Landmark detection. Okay, so face landmark detection is face recognition. It's a certain part of face recognition. It is responsible for vtubing, but nobody is calling vtubing AI. You ever realize that? Like the thing that allows me to do what I'm doing right now, the thing that allows like VTube Studio, if you've ever heard of it, even Iron Mouse, right? All these creators that exist across like like all the platforms where you see cartoon characters, like basically like act out the way they act out. That's all face. I'm not even gonna call it AI because they don't even, other people don't even label it AI, which is very interesting that they don't do that. That it's face landmarking. That's what it is. It's a type of it exists in the face recognition space, right? It is not possible without a model, like with a machine learned model, right? And machine learning is central to AI because the model is what makes the AI does what it does. It's the model that it's using. You'll see when people talk about models, they talk about AI models. It's the same thing. It's just a model for different things, right? So, and the VTubing is part of that. Like VTubing, it's a fundamental to like face landmarking is fundamental to VTubing, right? This wouldn't work. So that's interesting. And you know what else about VTubing? Because people are going to be like, oh, so VTubing is using all this toxic water. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The model exists on my computer. Like the VTubing software uses a model that's already on the machine. It's already on the machine. It's already on my computer. It's running locally on my machine. I don't need the internet to do what I do. The model's already downloaded and it's already running and it's already mapping my face and everything, right? Perfectly ethical way of using AI. Well, goddamn it. So, no. Perfectly ethical way of using face landmarking, face recognition. It's not poisoning anybody's water. It's not taking anybody's jobs. It's not doing any of this bullshit that the companies are doing. It's not doing any of that. It's not doing any of that. Any of it. None of it. None of it. It's perfectly good use of machine language models, right? It's perfectly good use of face recognition. Perfectly good use of like, okay, so when you go into an interview and not when you go into an interview, but there's been talk about like people mimicking other people, like their faces, and using them in interviews. It's a really good video. That's like a parody video about it's on a channel called It's About the News. It works. It's a YouTube channel about how various things that are about the news. It's a really good channel. I watch it every once in a while. It's really good stuff. They have a video on AI too, and one of the videos is it takes the guy who runs who's the face of the channel, and he puts the guy in different scenarios, but it uses an AI version of him and tries to see if it could trick different people. It's a really good video. It's a really funny video. But that one is using like the cloud computing that poisons the data centers that poisons people's water and stuff like that's using that type of like AI, right? The data center, the models that run on the data centers. So yeah, just to give you just to put things in perspective, right? I'm not ruining the life of the planet or like anybody's life when I vtube, or anybody else for that that's vtubing. Everybody's fine. Like everybody's fine. This was around way before all this crap with all these companies did what they're doing, and I just wish that they would. I just wish that like we could just move on from this. So yeah.
Stanford is the same as Silicon Valley, is the same as Google, is the same as OpenAI. I mean, you would hope that the academics are a little different from industry, and that there is someone out there who is saying something differently. Like they're not all rowing in the same boat, right? But we're right now in a situation where it's very difficult to understand what is real and what's not real, because not many people are invested in really informing the public.
Here's my understanding, and again, this is a rudimentary understanding, but I want to make sure, I want to see whether I'm misunderstanding.
Again, like I shouldn't be crowing about AI on this platform. I really shouldn't. Like I'm not an expert. I'm not like expert like some of these academics are. But like she said, it's weird that like more of them aren't doing it themselves, you know, and being honest with the public about the nature of things.
If you talk about, say, natural language processing, right, which again, it's funny because these were all problems when I was like in college that were like confounding problems. It's like, these are really hard problems. We don't actually know, we can't, you know, facial recognition. Humans are incredible at recognizing faces. We don't have a great theory of how and why they are. Natural language processing, I remember taking courses of that in college. You know, pedestrian identification, right? So these are like discrete tasks. My understanding of why, aside from marketing purposes, these are being sort of grouped together, is that they're all places in which this kind of brute force method has borne some real fruit, which is you create some sort of model and you feed it a bunch of data and you intervene to correct it. You say like, no, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong. And over time, these kind of connections get built up such that it starts to get very good at, say, predicting a pedestrian, or, you know, taking speech and making text, or recognizing cancer growth. And that sort of approach broadly has borne a lot of fruit and is being used in a lot of different areas. That is, I would say that's true, but I don't think that's the whole picture, because for example, let's say, you know, 15 years ago, so this methodology that we're talking about is machine learning, right? Statistical machine learning, and machine learning is a technique, right, that is used for many different things, just like statistics is a technique that is used for many different things. Totally, right? Yep. And so for example, in computer vision, the way in which people used to do image recognition, for example, wasn't using machine learning before. They didn't use a lot of training data. They would use machine learning, and then within machine learning, there's the deep learning, neural. Mm-hmm. Deep learning is a word that was created because neural networks were too stigmatized by the rest of the AI industry. I know. No, it's so funny. They were like completely the like orphaned child, right? An
Yeah.
intellectual dead end.
And they called it deep learning because neural networks was a high correlation that your papers would be rejected if it had the word
It's
term
amazing.
neural network. So, neural network is a subset of machine learning. So a machine learning, statistical machine learning specifically, is a technique that a bunch of different people can use, right? And then that's one thing, that's the technique. And then there are the tasks. The tasks are, let's say, different kinds of tasks within natural language processing. There are a bunch of tasks within computer vision. There are a bunch of tasks. So a lot of people in vision and natural language processing didn't use what's called feature learning, right? So I'll explain very quickly what feature learning is. So what we used to do is, what we need is, let's say we have to figure out how to classify, I don't know, oranges in an image or something.
Yep.
What we would do is we first would create a transformation of the image. So a set of numbers, such that each image is represented by a set of numbers.
Yep.
And we would calculate those numbers by hand. So you would give me an image, and I would figure out, using my knowledge of light and transformations and mathematical transformations, whatever, I would use a specific method to transform that image to a certain set of numbers, which are called features. And then that means that in this feature space, if I have two images, one is a set of image of an orange, another is an image of a car or something. If you compare those features that you transform those images to, they should be very different from each other. And if you compare the features of two images that have oranges or something, they should be very similar to each other, right? That's kind of transforming the image into a feature space. So then the deep learning people, what they do is they say, okay, let's do feature learning. So instead of you calculating this thing by hand using a predefined method, we use all of this data to learn what the
features are.
Now, this is why it's not as explainable, right, as using a predefined methodology. You know the mathematical properties, you know what you did to each image to get those features, etc. So then the technique is lumped, that one technique of feature learning is lumped in the same category as the task itself. You see what I mean? So it's yes, you're right that right now we're using that one technique for many things, like this machine learning. But even before that, people in computer vision were lumped under AI because it was the task of computer vision, whether or not they used machine learning. And the machine learning was not they were trying to be called AI, but it wasn't really working, so they weren't called AI. So the reason I'm like harping on about the word AI is that, for example, it makes it very difficult to have conversations about the things I like to work on and the things I advocate for versus the things that are harmful. So for example, speech recognition, even though we use statistical machine learning, you can create a speech recognition system for a specific language using very low data. You can curate the data, pay all the data workers, not use so many computational resources, do it very carefully, and address a very important problem, which is speech transcription that helps a lot of people. And it's a very well-defined input-output. Now we have, it's very interesting that you brought out that we're using the same methodology for everything. I call it like a one model for everything type of approach.
That's totally, and that's what they say. I mean, that's the selling point. That's both the hype, that's the conception. Like, the whole idea is this, you get enough data, you do enough training, you iterate enough, it gets bigger and bigger, scaling laws. You don't have to do little bespoke things for this language, and that's the selling. That's what they're trying to bring.
So let me give you
speech transcription. That's what they use. For example, when you turn on closed caption and it's auto translating the things in YouTube, that's speech transcription.
a specific problem that we didn't have that has emerged because of this whole one model for everything approach. So with speech recognition, you can do a specific type of model architecture. You can curate your data. You don't have to guzzle everything up on the internet. You don't have to do it for every, all 7,000 of the world's languages or claim you can do it for specific languages, etc. Right? So in the past with speech recognition, there were issues like inaccuracies, and of course, things that didn't work. But there wasn't this so-called hallucination where you just have large swath of text that
how's it
are
going, Big
completely
Rage? How's it
made
going?
up. And now with things like Whisper, OpenAI speech
Welcome
recognition
to the stream.
/ translation system that's
Come
also
on in and
integrated
chill.
into
We're
ChatGPT,
watching a
you
video about
have
AI.
these issues where with speech
Am I live?
transcription,
Cool.
or speech recognition, a very
Same here.
well-defined, I like this problem because it's a very well-defined engineering problem. Your input is speech, your output is exactly the text.
Just giving a reference, I've spoken a little bit about AI before. I did a stream on like Sora AI before it went kaputzi, and now like this is an interview from MSNB. This is from MS Now. I feel like this is like the last video you ever have to watch on AI ever again. Like after this, I'm probably never gonna talk about AI because she's an expert and she can explain things way better than I can. So, and so, like I'm just watching it and going over it. And I hope you enjoyed the stream too. It's a really good video.
Of that speech, that's it. Very well-defined input, very
Not a
well-defined
problem,
output. You have systems like Whisper that make up a whole bunch of stuff instead of just transcribing the output. So, for example, there was a very dangerous example
it puts a light
where
on the whole subject.
the speech said something like,
she's an expert. She knows exactly
I believe he was wearing a cross or something like that. And then the transcription says, he had a terror knife, he killed 200 people, you know what I mean? And so then you have hospitals using this stuff to transcribe notes, and they think it works really well because of what we call automation bias. They think it works really well. They overtrust the system because they're being deceived into thinking that it's perfect. And they don't keep the audio, right? The initial audio recording, so they don't know what the transcription was. They have these notes that can be completely off and in a dangerous way. And that came about because of this whole one model for everything approach.
Right, so these different models, right? I heard you talk about it, this sort of more tailored, discrete models for task specific, that they require way less in these sort of gargantuan resources. We all know, everyone has been inundated with information about how massive these data centers are. 7% of all U.S. electricity consumption happening in the country right now. 7%, it's up to 7% is our data centers. That's predicted to go up even higher, maybe 10, 15, depending if this all gets built out. I mean, you're saying that at a way less resource intensive level, you can pick discrete problems and use some of these same methods, right? I mean, the tech isn't that different. You're going to do some learning, you're going to do some training, you're going to have a data set to produce reliable, useful tools for those specific tasks, as opposed to the kind of bigger is always better, we're going to get some generalized intelligence. And
yes,
my question about, so there's two parts of that, and this I think speaks to that original paper, which we talk about, is like, there's both a engineering argument you're making about that, right? It's better for the task, but there's also like an ethical argument. Like there's a deep ethical political argument, it seems to me, that is suffusing all this. The engineering argument, which you just said, is like, it actually starts introducing problems that it shouldn't have. In fact, if you just were to scale it and tailor it for what you're doing, you could actually do a better job. Walk me through why there's this sort of ethical valence to this, an ethical political valence to the always bigger, build more, and it's just a question of getting these systems big enough and scaled enough that they can start to produce intelligence that is generalized and looks like what humans do in every sphere.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Or we could just skip it.
I'll walk you through that. And I have to say that I've learned more since I have written the stochastic parrots paper with my co-authors. But what was happening around the time when we wrote the stochastic parrots paper, which would be around 2020, was that we were at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. And at the same time, OpenAI was releasing these GPT models. This is way before ChatGPT.
Yeah, before it blows up in the kind of public consciousness, this is like in the AI world, you're working there.
Yeah.
This is not in everyone's faces all the time.
No, nobody knows what I'm talking about, right? Like nobody knows what, but in my world of researchers and, you know, and I was at Google, people are super excited by these GPT models. So there was GPT-2, but now GPT-3 has come out. GPT-3 is much bigger than GPT-2, both in the amount of data they consume and the amount of computational resources they consume. Because what it means is making your models bigger means that you have a more complicated mathematical function that maps your input to, you know, a feature space or something. And so they make it bigger and bigger, which means the math is more, you know, more and more, the resulting math is more and more complicated, which is also less and less explainable, right? So that means that you make it bigger in terms of computational resources. You need more, basically, computers and chips and stuff to train it, more energy, more water, and then you also need more data to train a bigger model. So they were, and so at some point, in about, you know, 2017 or something is when let me just back up really quickly. So OpenAI, the reason I've always hated them, like, sorry to say that, or disliked them, let's say, even though I was fired by Google. I wrote an open letter when they were announced in 2015 because I was so angry by how the press was describing them as literally a quote-unquote altruistic endeavor, because they started as a company that was trying to create artificial general intelligence, different from artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence. But the biggest, the most prominent company before them that was started to create AGI, DeepMind.
Yep.
So at the same time, their goal, they say, was they branded themselves as an AI safety company to basically stop fictional super intelligent machines from rendering humanity extinct, right?
Google, DeepMind was a project by Google. It's Google DeepMind. Yeah, that was, when she brings it up, that was so long ago. I don't remember the last time that's been mentioned. I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't realize that's what that's for. I thought DeepMind was just for like deep machine learning. I didn't realize it was for AGI. Yeah, that's Google was working on DeepMind. That was Google's baby.
So all of this fanfare, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all of these billionaires were doing this. But, you know, back then, what they thought, it wasn't language models that they were focused on. It was deep reinforcement learning. It was a different kind of technique. And so all of their experiments, and if you look at it, it was all games like Go, AlphaGo, you know, DeepMind had AlphaGo and this and that.
Like in the
so the pivot to language modeling happened when Google came out with this Google Brain, the division I was in actually. Researchers there came up with a new architecture to do language modeling. And then after they came out with a new architecture, the year later, there was a new model.
Now that you mentioned that, and now, like, by the end of the interview, you're going to realize it's not that serious. It isn't even close to that serious right now. Like, I need to go back and watch and read the stochastic parrots paper that she wrote. I need to go back and watch, because I think I found it once, and I just I passed over it. Just for, like, I didn't like immediately write over it because I was thinking about other things. But when you realize this, oh, curious I am. Yeah. No, I have to go back and read it. She wrote the paper on about the nature of modern AI and stuff like that. And so I need to go back and actually like sit down and actually read it, because it's not at that level at all. At all. That's how unintelligent modern AI is. It still needs to be like, if it does anything close to that, it still needs to be like piloted by a human being. So no, it's not. Yeah, we're not getting. I have no mouth, and I'm a scream scenario. We're not getting that.
A precursor to GPT, let's say, called BERT, that kind of had good feature representations for a lot of different tasks. We talked a little bit about what feature representations are earlier. So once BERT came out, OpenAI basically pivoted into working on large language models, and then they pivoted into making it larger and larger and larger. So 2020, there was already this race among all of these companies to build larger and larger language models. And I did not understand why this was happening. It literally looked like a pissing contest. I'm telling you, it was honestly. And so I asked Jeff Dean, who was VP of research at the time at Google. He presented at a research all hands, and he said he was upset that OpenAI had the largest model, and that this was a missed opportunity for Google. Google should have had the largest model. I emailed him and I asked, why do we care about having what is the largest model supposed to do for you? What research model, questions are you trying to ask? Because they were so fixated in the size, and they weren't talking about what a big model was supposed to give you. At the time, the whole scale is all you need thing wasn't, really happening, but they were just still fixated on the size. So then on the other hand, on the ethical side, let me tell you the kinds of conversations that were happening.
This is simple to explain. This is simple to explain. Science doesn't equal quality. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like it's a one-to-one.
People were asking if GPT was ethical, which really pissed me off. It's do you ask if a bridge is ethical?
Right.
No, And so I was like, this cannot be the kind of conversation we're having about larger and larger language models. And at the same time, we have Black Lives Matter going on, and there were papers that showed that GPT-2's, the precursor to GPT-3, was outputting extremely toxic and racist text. And nobody was talking about it except for a couple of people.
This is good shit she gets into. This is good shit.
And Emily Bender was talking about the fact that OpenAI was not transparent about their data. So both me and her have worked on advocating for documentation. And I have a paper called Data Sheets. She has a paper called Data Statements. And we said, basically it's very simple. Tell us what data you're using, document your data. Don't just gobble up. When you're making food at a restaurant, you don't tell me I don't even know if this has spinach, or I don't even know if the spinach has E. coli. You don't do that, right?
Right.
Oh, I don't know if I paid for the tomatoes. I might have just stolen them from the farmer's market. I mean, I don't know how we let this happen. So we were just saying that, people talk about documentation debt. They say, oh, we have to use all the data, and if we use all the data, we can't know what's in it because it's impossible to document all this data. And so Emily was saying, well, I can't I can't study the properties of these models if I don't even know what data they were trained on. I want to say how important that is, because it's not just about the ethics of, what kind of data you have, whether it's terrible.
We are nowhere near that. We are nowhere near that. It's hilarious. It's just look at watching this video now. It feels like I hope it stays that way. No, it'll definitely stay that way. The facts bear out themselves. She does it perfectly. It's like a manufactured cultural panic. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It's like a manufactured cultural panic, with the intent to bring up profits, to just make profit money $ go up. That's what it feels like after hearing all this.
Toxic text from the dark web,
I don't even think,
or whether you've stolen it from people or not. Machine learning 101 is that
but I'm
you
not
don't
sure
test
they
on
know.
your training set, right? So
sorry, simply stocks with AI. Yeah, but I'm not sure that's the intention of the people who are running who are managing the train. That's per se. I think the way they talk about it, the way everybody talks about it, it feels like they're true believers. They don't even realize what what's happening, what they're doing. But they're definitely running away with this. So yeah.
If you're testing how well your model is doing on a specific task, you have
Maybe
to make
certain
sure
people,
that the
but
data in the
she's saying
test set
important stuff.
does not have overlap with the training set, because otherwise it's like studying to the test. Well,
Right.
you know, if I gave you the 10
Yeah, let
questions
me
that
rewind this.
you're
I
going to
don't
have
actually
to
have
answer on your
this. Sorry.
learning 101.
It's one of the things. This is actually one of the things that's wrong with like what's happening. Hold on.
Even
He points this out.
we have to use all the data, and if we use all the data, we can't know what's in it, because it's impossible to document all this data. And so Emily was like saying, well, I can't study the properties of these models if I don't even know what data they were trained on. I want to say how important that is, because it's not just about the ethics of, you know, what kind of data you have, whether it's terrible, toxic text from the dark web, or you know, whether you've stolen it from people or not. Machine learning 101 is that you don't test on your training set, right? So if you're testing how well your model is doing on a specific task, you have to make sure that the data in the test set does not have overlap with the training set, because otherwise it's like studying to the test. Well,
Right.
you know, if I gave you the 10 questions that you're going to have to answer on your test, that doesn't mean you learned the material. It means you learned those 10 questions. It's very interesting, because that's a very simple concept. Right now it's gone out the window, because we don't know what what the training data is, but there's all these headlines saying, oh, it passed the math Olympiad. Well, I bet you it was part of the training data, right? Because it memorized it. So this was kind of, so I wanted to.
So, okay, so I know I said they might not know what they're going to get away with, but I'm sure somebody involved knows. I'm sure somebody involved knows. So it's best not to move forward thinking that, oh, we were oblivious to what we were doing. Like, don't do that. Don't fall for that as a trap.
To make sure that our conversations were not grounded in, is ChatGPT ethical, right? I wanted to talk, collaborate with the people who were asking the right questions, and I wanted to ask people, why are you fixated on size? If you're fixated on size, please think about all of the things that could go wrong if you're fixated on size. And I want to say that back then, we weren't writing about chatbots specifically. We were just writing about large language models. And I think that also muddies the problem, the conversation, because right now, people who are offended that we called large language models stochastic parrots. And for us, it's not a derogatory term or anything. It's literally a descriptive term to say, this is how large language models work. This is how they're trained. They're trained to reproduce the most likely sequences of text based on the training data. This is, you know, calculate the most likely sequences of text. This is how they work. And that was the reason we came up. I mean, Emily came up with the term stochastic parrots, because we thought it was descriptive. Now, of course,
I'll make a derogatory term for it. We're feeding fat parrots. We're just making the parrots fatter and fatter and fatter.
Of course, you know, then there's chatbots, there's all this other stuff. So our goal was large language models that are used for anything. They're also used for speech recognition, and we like speech recognition. We have in our paper a section about, you know, dual use. If there are good uses of this technology, like large language models, let's think, how big is too big? Does it need to be this big in order to achieve those good uses?
But is the too big is a concern about resources? It's a concern.
Let me just define what big means, right? Big is, in terms of your model size, is the number of parameters that you have in your model, and also the amount of data points that you're training for your model. So we were literally talking about how big is too big. We're not talking about whether large language modeling itself is a dangerous task. We're saying, what are the risks that we need to think about, and the harms of large language models, the larger and larger you get. The first thing we discussed is the environmental and financial cost.
Right.
When your model is big and you're using lots, because the cloud is not like in the clouds, right? I mean, it's an actual place.
Physical data centers.
It's actual data center.
Yep.
Exactly. And at the time, all of these data centers that we all know right now, we know Google and Microsoft and all these people have abandoned their carbon neutrality goals that they said they were going to reach in 2030, and they've abandoned them. We hadn't even gone there yet. But we were seeing where we were headed if we were just prioritizing size. So when you have
Which
size,
is so
that
dumb.
means that you're going to need more computational power. That means more electricity, more computers, more chips, more GPUs, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so that creates a problem because we talked about, for instance, environmental racism. The people who pay the cost are not the people who benefit from any of these systems, right? The people in Memphis where Elon Musk data center is that are getting asthma and all these other problems, and that whose electricity bill is going up, they're not the ones making money from this. They're not the ones benefiting from this. We also talk about the financial cost. Now we see it, right? OpenAI, Anthropic, all these people see it as their advantage, competitive advantage, because nobody else can buy this many GPUs and all of these. So we said that the financial cost makes it such that it locks out a lot of people into doing this kind of research or work.
And what's it doing to what's it doing to like people want to buy PCs, like the gaming market. People want to buy RAM and people want to like build their own PCs, and they can't because all the fucking AI companies are buying up all the resources. Like it's causing problems in other places,
This fundamental approach, which is so dependent on size and scale.
Yeah.
Like this is why the cost of the Steam,
that mean
like
that you
the
can't
Steam Deck
have,
went up.
It's not
this
like
is why the cost
classic
of the
example
Nintendo
being the App
Switch went
Store,
up.
right? Where like basically anyone, and that's changed a little bit, but it didn't take a lot to like code an iPhone game. I know people that have done it. I've known people that have done it very successfully, right? Like extremely low barrier entry, a competitive place where people can come up with new ideas. This is basically the opposite of that, because you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars of fixed cost capital expenditure.
It's all AI.
Exactly. That's the first thing we talked about. So when you ask about size, is it in terms of resources, etc. So the first thing we address is resources and the multifaceted issues that we have from consuming those kinds of resources. The second thing we discussed is the data. So size instead of huge data sets. What does it mean? A, it means you'll say you don't want to document it. It's too big to document. B, it means that, we have a section that says size doesn't guarantee diversity. There's this kind of misconception that says, we have such a huge data set. We are capturing all of the people's humanity. I remember when Stable Diffusion came out, Stability AI CEO was saying, we just compress all of humanity's knowledge. Well, most of humanity is not even on the internet, first of all. So you didn't do that. And secondly, the kinds of places they got this data from, like Reddit, I got so harassed on Reddit. I never went on Reddit a lot of times. Social media platforms, certain groups of people are harassed out and other groups of people are, censored, or like whatever data that you have on the internet is mostly hegemonic views. Hegemonic views in terms of language, in terms of culture. Marginalized views are kind of booted out or not amplified.
Or less represented. Yeah, right, yeah.
Less represented for many reasons. And so size doesn't guarantee diversity. And then we talked about all of the toxic.
So cultural knowledge that you would have gotten from other groups, you don't get it because they're not there. So how could you say that like you captured everything if everybody's not there, basically?
Text. And also even the issues with the way they were filtering things out. So for example, they would filter out texts for toxicity based on terms. And what that does is it would take out websites or texts where people are reclaiming those terms. So actually they did worse,
That's
right?
Interesting, yeah.
So yeah, we were, and then the other really interesting thing we just
right. If you took out blackplanet.com for the N-word, you would basically kick out
That's it.
blackplanet.com, which is one of the great repositories of organic black internet interaction over many years. I get it.
That's it. And also for queer people, same thing.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. And then the last thing we discussed is changing social views. A lot of times when social views change, people edit Wikipedia pages, people edit other things. but these things are kind of dwarfed by the the bigger unchanged text, and also they might not make it for the next training data in time, and so you're sort of locked in to like the older, after Me Too, Black Lives Matter, etc. You're sort of locked into that era, right? Because you're not adjusting your training data fast enough, and you're not curating it to get that kind of data. So we discussed a lot of things with respect to the data. That was the biggest section. And then we talked about two things, I would say, that were important. One is the Weizenbaum kind of thing we talked about. And this was more, I'm not a cognitive scientist, so this wasn't really my contribution. But Meg Mitchell, who was my co-lead and then got fired, and Emily Bender, they both have a linguist and NLP background and also some cognitive science background. So they talked about how people imagine a mind behind the text that they see. And when it's fluent, so the issue with larger and larger language models is that you don't have a cue that, for example, in machine translation, when something is translated the wrong way and the grammar is incorrect, you have a cue, oh, this is probably wrong, right? But when it's super fluent text and it makes sense to you, you don't have a cue that it's wrong. So we actually gave this example of a Palestinian man who wrote "Good morning" and it was translated to "attack them," right? Like a complete, and he was arrested and later released because of automation bias. They didn't even check to see what the non-translated version was, right? Because they didn't have any cues that the grammar was wrong or anything. They over-trusted it. So we talked about the kinds of issues that may occur.
I mean, we even do this, and we don't even need AI to make this mistake. Allah Akbar means God is good. I think, right? I think that's what that means, right? But people mistake it for something else.
From this kind of
please correct me if I'm wrong.
Mimicry, and like people imagine a mind, imagining a mind behind it. And the last thing we discussed is really what kinds of great research are we not pursuing by going through this singular direction? Literally just the only direction that you're supposed to pursue in the field of AI that you could do so many things in is this singular direction. Right.
I mean, what's interesting, the irony there, right?
We don't even need AI to screw that up. We do it all the time.
Contributed to this particular singular direction were extremely frowned upon, out of fashion, rejected for very many years, and viewed as kind of,
absolutely
a dead end.
Yes, no, not even that, by the way. In around 2012, when so what happened is the neural networks got really good performance on a specific benchmark that came out of the lab that I got my PhD in, called the ImageNet data set. And even after that, in 2012, Jan LeCun, Jan LeCun used to be chief scientist of Meta and like godfather of deep learning or whatever.
Right,
okay,
right.
So Jan LeCun wrote an open letter to the computer vision academic community after one of his papers got rejected. He was really upset. He was like, I'm never gonna submit my papers to this conference. And you know why people rejected it? These methodologies, it was because they could not explain why these things worked as very well, and they could not give you the properties of these models. And it's sad because we still should be asking for those things, right? But now that's it. Like every single method sort of has been redirected to this paradigm, and people are not asking this kind of question like, well, but you can't really explain to me why exactly it's working that well. All you can explain to me is that you have this training set and then you train this thing and it does well on your test set. Like, why can't you tell me more things about the model than this? And that's part of why these things were being methodologies were being rejected back then, even after they showed good performance.
I mean, but doesn't that get to the heart of the whole thing, right? I mean, what they're saying is, I mean, to sort of give, the other side of this argument is that, like, that's what's incredible about essentially this emergent properties that come out of scaling at this level, that like you start to get behaviors that you can't account for.
I'm going to stop you right there because,
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's what they say. I'm
yeah,
not saying
but
that's true.
No, I know. So I will answer that. Okay, so this is one of the things that really irritates me about this field, right? Because, I used to be an electrical engineer, and in electrical engineering, you really kind of model things you write out like what you expect the systems to be, and then you check, how your model compares with reality, and you model different kinds of errors, and you do all this stuff. And in physics, same thing. So in physics, there's these words like phase change. What's phase change? It's a very clear thing when a thing goes from being a solid to a liquid, or liquid to a gas. That's phase change. In this specific case, they're making up all these words without explaining, without actually seeing what is emergent change. Well, the graph was like this, and now there's a slope, and now it became here, and this part is emergent change. And there was a paper that got a best paper award at NeurIPS, which is the biggest machine learning conference.
Yep.
That's where all of these deep learning people now publish their papers.
Yep.
There's a paper that got best paper award from Sami Cuejo and his students and collaborators. I don't know, one of them might be a postdoc, that showed that basically these emergent properties that they said it until then were basically like a mirage. They weren't looking at the right metrics. They weren't looking at the right scales and things like this. This is why I mean it's very sloppy work and science, and it's just misinforming the public, right? If I can't even see your training data, so you might be testing on your training data, and then you're telling me there's something called emergence just because you did the wrong thing, and nobody even checked it. The paper that showed that has to get a best paper award. Why would I believe anything else you say?
But in terms of like what they're doing now versus what they could do before, like there just is this, whether it's a good thing or not for the world, like there are things you can do now with these models that you couldn't do 3 years ago. I mean, or even a year or two ago. I mean, and so I don't know if the scaling laws are working. I don't know if the whole thing is a mirage, but like obviously like 6 years ago, you couldn't really get, it to write a book review of a PDF you uploaded at 300 pages. Like it just wouldn't really work,
but is that
right?
really a book review though? So here's the thing. I think
Whatever it is, I'm just saying that you couldn't even get the simulacrum of it, right? Like
I don't dispute that there are things that are happening that couldn't happen before, etc. What I'm disputing is that there are, like, for example, there is another claim about reasoning. And my old manager at Google, who's now at Apple, all of his papers about how this reasoning thing does not exist because they're doing sloppy testing.
Right.
So actually, if you just change like the plus to a minus or something, it fails, right? So there's also overfitting.
Wait, take a second. Explain overfitting.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
Part of this, yes.
Yeah, overfitting is like, for example, like I said, studying to the
Like,
test,
what are we talking
you
about
basically memorize it and you're not really testing the right thing anymore. And so to me, there's a couple of things going on. One is, yes, you can't dispute that there are certain things that are better, but you don't need those things. If the things that I think we want, like speech recognition or very specific, cancer detection or whatever, they don't need to exist with this other paradigm. Like they don't, we don't need to do all of this resource consumption, etc., to get the things that we think are good. Secondly, there are things that are happening now, but that they're not good, right? Like the addiction, the chatbot addiction, the mimicry of people, that's just not good. And thirdly, there are so many claims that are unsubstantiated, and they're coming from untrustworthy people, that it's really hard to know what claims are actually true. Because we don't have the data, they won't release the data, we have to take their word for it with respect to the testing. And then, when you have academia is like completely failing, and, there's also like the naming of aspirational things versus actual things. Like, for example, when people say, it writes a summary or a literature review, maybe and I don't know how much of it is correct, how much of it is incorrect. But like, for example, when I ask a student to write a literature review, I'm not just doing it because I want an artifact that's a literature review. I want them to go through the process of doing that because they learn something really important in synthesizing. So there's just a lot of different things bundled up is what I'm saying in what's going on right now.
Also, like, I don't know, like when you do anything, when you're creating everything, you're doing it from your perspective, and your perspective may not be the same perspective as other people's. Like, there's a danger to being hegemonic, because there might be something or an aspect or something about the thing that you see that other people don't see. But if it's coming from um, like if everything's coming from one thing, then it's not a complete picture. Like it doesn't. Does that make sense? Like you can write one person could write a literature review, and another person could write another literature review, and there are things in the other person's literature review that was there, but that the first person didn't even mention. So just to give an example.
The resource thing to me, the place where it seems craziest and most obvious. I mean, there was just reporting recently about how, Claude it's costing $5,000 a month for things they're charging $200 a month. The craziest version of this is if you ask for like a recommendation of a restaurant in Seoul, South Korea, like Google will show you a bunch of websites that have it, including probably a decent Reddit thread or some thread somewhere where people talk about it. And then they have Gemini summarizing it up the top and giving you some suggestions. But it's like 100 to 1. the compute of that little thing at the box to the other things. So what's interesting to me about it is any efficiency or cost considerations have basically been thrown out, which is a strange thing that doesn't happen very often in either the business world or the tech world or even the engineering world. Like it's always the case that resource constraint, doing things in the most efficient manner, are just like pounded into everyone.
Yeah.
Even when you take your first year CS class and you're running a search or a sort, like
exactly.
It's like, do the most compute efficient way of sorting this.
Yeah, I was in a Bloomberg interview when the whole DeepSeek thing happened, telling them exactly that. That's why I got excited about this field, is because you take an algorithms class and the goal is to do the most clever thing possible. And right now, you can do this with the brute force way with all the resources available, but now try it the more clever way. What's the fastest way you can do it? What is the, how little memory can you use? Right where we are right now is the complete opposite. How big if we can't mine everything on Earth, let's try to go to Mars. What about the moon? That's where we are, and it's just really not exciting for me. And the reason
knowing the efficiencies of algorithms, it's the difference between hiring somebody that doesn't know how to code at all and hiring a graduate student that went through the courses and learned everything and already knows a lot of what at least the very basics of some algorithms are faster than others and more efficient than others. It's night and day yet. Another thing they're starting to say nowadays is the degrees don't matter anymore.
Then the DeepSeek thing was super interesting.
That's the Chinese
I'm getting off topic just slightly.
Way, like orders of magnitude fewer resources.
Exactly. That was interesting because you can see what happens, how you can innovate when you're resource constrained. They really did innovate, and these people were very sore losers. I'll tell you, the academics, the Europeans and the Americans were like, well, when you invent something and then the Chinese can copy it or whatever, that's not what they did. Because if that came out of DeepMind or something, I'm telling you, it would be on the cover of some magazine as a breakthrough, because they did a number of innovations. They didn't even use NVIDIA's library, CUDA library, which most people use. They really optimized the hardware. So that's super exciting to see that, it's possible to do something differently. However, they still kind of were working on the LLM part of the large language model paradigm. And I'm like, well, if your creativity was on something different, maybe we could have a different paradigm too. But, but that part of showing how resource constrained they can be is what innovation means, in my opinion. It's not whatever's happening with these big companies.
So based just around that means we really don't need all those GPUs. Not like the way we've been doing it. We really don't need it. The Chinese already did something different. We don't, and they did it more efficient and better. So we don't even need to do it, but we still want to go down this road. Okay.
These models, if we hit, there's a bet being made that they can produce enough revenue that they can justify the capital expenditure. That's obviously the bet. I don't know if that is a correct or not bet, and Lord knows I'm not a betting man at all. Zero interest in it. Never have really been interested in it.
Good for you, Joe.
Well, people ask me all the time, like, who's going to be the nominee? And I'm like, I truly have no idea. Like, I just don't know the future. But let's say the bet doesn't pay off. So let's just take the route. I'm curious to hear you on this. If there's a big financial, like, basically they overshot and the finances of this crumble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's two ways I can think about, obviously there's a bunch of things. There's two things that can happen, right? Like, one is you can see this as like, okay, maybe that was a dead end, or, and we start getting hyped about something new, whatever the next version of the metaverse is. Or that all of that, you know, the sort of necessity mother of invention thing, like all of those old values that people had around compute power and efficiency and resource constraint and start to come back in to push this in new and interesting ways, which is to say, like, when you're not just sort of brute force hyperscaling, maybe there's another path that this takes that is interesting and innovative without that.
Perhaps, you know, the reason we're on this path is because there's this bundle of ideologies that my collaborator and I call the TESCREAL bundle. I'm not gonna go to, you know, it's the transhumanists and the effective altruist long-termists and all that. And what they did is I've been advocating for task-specific models, as we discussed, and they lamented that the field had gone towards that direction, and they really wanted to create what's called AGI, which I believe is a machine god. I don't really know how else to explain it. I've never been interested in building a machine god. And now, if you are building a machine god, of course, you have to use all of the world's resources. Guess what? Because a machine god will just solve everything. Like, you'll build the thing that will solve climate change.
They explicitly say that, by the way. I mean,
absolutely.
This is a view that, this is not a caricature of the view. This is a view that Sam Altman said that his revenue plan, his profitability plan for OpenAI was to build AGI and then ask the model how to make money.
Yeah, and also Ilyas Escobar also said, when people asked him about, you know, how do you bake ethics into your work, he said, at some point in the future, the model will tell us what is ethical. So, you know, and Sam Altman called it magic intelligence in the sky. Now, in this camp, you have believers, true believers, true believers who want to live forever, and they think we can upload our minds and colonize the cosmos and stuff. And then you have people who I don't think are true believers, but they use that narrative to excite other people, right? So the thing is, on the one hand, you're saying, we will build the machine god that solves everything. Of course, we have to use all of our resources. However, we might accidentally build the machine devil instead. And so you don't want anybody else to build the machine devil. You don't want China to build the machine devil. So you should make sure that we build the machine god. Like, not, you know, the best thing, what is it? The best thing to stop a guy with a gun, a bad guy with a gun, is a good guy with a gun, right? So you stop a bad guy with a machine devil is to stop a good person with a machine god. That's literally their argument. So that's how they push this agenda. To be honest, I've seen how propaganda works the best on this, seeing how this whole thing played out, because I saw these people for, you know, more than a decade pushing this and slowly making it into the mainstream, because they used to be left out of the room even within the field of AI. The whole AGI thing was not at all popular. And when Elon Musk and all these people, Peter Thiel, started talking about how AI is summoning the devil and how we should worry more about AI than climate change, people thought they were ridiculous, right? But now it became mainstream. But now, I don't think this line of conversation is really working out for them, because investors are asking about returns, right? And so now that's not, when they go to investors, they're not talking about good guy with a machine god, bad guy with a machine god. They're talking about how many people they're going to replace with their machine. They're not doing that, right? Like, this good guy with machine god, bad guy with machine god, that's for the public, right? That's to get us on board. Where for the investors, but the thing is, a lot of
Remember what I mentioned before? That, like, what's
been working?
Yeah, it's so much marketing talk, which is bullshit for us to get.
Is they just, you see how many people are hidden. Like we work with people called AI impersonators. I don't know if you've heard of what they are. AI impersonators are people who pretend to be AI. Like they pretend to be chatbots. So all of these kind of Amazon's, automatic checkout, which turned out to be actually people watching you. All of these people in the Philippines and Waymo's like actually watching and stuff like that, right? So what you're doing to a certain extent is obfuscating, to a large extent actually, the amount of human labor and data and grunt work that is fueling these things. And you're exploiting those people, you're not paying them, so it looks like magical and, magic intelligence in the sky and all of that. You're not paying for your data. And then even with all of that, you're still losing money. I don't see how this will work out. And honestly, even if it doesn't work out, it's not a good thing for the public, because a lot of people's retirement accounts are in this thing. A lot of people's, I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, a major, if the AI bubble does pop, it will be a very significant drag on both equity markets and finances more broadly. There's lots of corporate bonds and private credit that's sort of bound up in it too, because of the different deals that have been cut. So the world in which this
I feel
pops is going to be pretty gnarly economically. I don't think there's any question about that.
But what will be left, going back to your question, I can't really say, because in the past there's been AI summers and AI winters, right? So what has happened is most of the people involved there weren't that many VCs, because the venture capitalist system is a more recent system, right? It was more governments and military, and a lot of these things were being invested during the Vietnam War, for example, for computer vision and other things. So once people, you had AI summers where a lot of money was being thrown at it. But once they overhyped, right, and under-delivered, and then what would happen is people just didn't want to do anything in AI. So then all the people in computer vision or whatever who called themselves AI went back to saying, I'm not AI, I'm computer vision, because the AI people are the ones that just hype things. So we could go back to that. AI just becomes a bad word, then I don't know what happens to my institute, because it's like the AI Research Institute. I don't know. Maybe we rebrand, and then everybody kind of goes back to doing more task-specific things, hopefully, or I don't know, because all of these data centers are being built. They might feel like they have to use it for something and push something else down our throats. I'm not sure what would happen if this thing doesn't pan out. I'm not a good bettor, like you said.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that it's sort of daunting to even conceive of it, just in terms of those the physical infrastructure that's being built and the resources that are going into it.
Yeah.
And what it will mean. Timnit Gebru is a founder and executive director of the Distributed AI Research Institute, also known as the DARE Institute. I'm a co-lead of the Ethical AI Research Team at Google. That was so fascinating. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm gonna link that video on the live after when it goes. It like this already goes live. This is already, I think, yeah. I like when this is live, like it's already gonna be public. Like this stream is already gonna be public. It's not initially gonna be there. I'm gonna add it afterwards. So like you can just sit there and watch it without my commentary, you know. It's a really good video. Yeah. I definitely wanted to show that because it's like the best video on AI that I've seen yet, and I just had to show it because I've been talking about it. And so I don't think there's anything else to say. Like after that video, there's nothing else to talk about. I'm gonna make clips of that. I'm gonna make clips of this stream, and I'm gonna be like, and anything that I have to say about AI is done. Like it's just not because there's so many problems with it, and the people who are like running the train don't they don't get it, you know? So it's just profit. It's just all about profit. So yeah, so all right, so let's move on. Okay, I'm so glad she did that interview happen. It was such a good interview, you know? So now I think what I'm going to do now is I need to finish Doom. So that I can get back on to if you like me that I did that, please follow, subscribe. And let me finish Doom now. Let's get back into gaming. Let's get back into gaming. But yeah, that was pretty good. I'm so glad I did that. I was hesitant to do it because I don't know. I was just hesitant to do it. I was just like, oh, one of the reasons why I was hesitant to do it because I was worried that like they were gonna copyright strike, like they were gonna take down the stream. YouTube was gonna take down the stream and copyright strike me or something like that because that's a YouTube video. But they didn't do that. I was so glad that didn't happen because I wanted to do that. And now that I got it, I was able to do that and comment on it. I'm so happy about that. Okay, great. Yeah, so perfect. Everything you need to know about AI, for the most part, was explained there. And if you have a friend of yours that's in computer science, you know, you can also talk to them about it. Just find a random guy and be like, hey, what do you think about this AI video? And they can totally talk to you about it. Yeah, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad you did that. Okay, so let's it is time to let me switch over. Get this started. Let's see. Okay, it went better than I expected. Oh, is that one? Today's a Good Friday. For a second. What's taking so long? There we go. Oh, this is the wrong view. My bad. There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, let's finish this. And then after I finish doing, I have to do Phoenix, right? I have to do Phoenix, right? Because my Switch is cooperating with me now. Did I forget all the controls? I think I did. It's gonna suck. Last time I beat this game, I didn't beat it on Hurt Me Plenty. This will be my first. This will be my first. This will be my first playthrough beating it on Plenty. And even before that, I'd never beaten the game before, so I thought I'd just like beat it now. They're bringing pain. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Gosh. Okay. Crazy. The door? It feels like a door. Right. What's going on? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe this was a mistake. Was open before? Yeah, it was. I'm out of shotgun ammo. That kind of sucks. Wow, I'm almost dead. And I'm dead. Am I gonna beat this? I'm afraid. Have I bitten off one that I can chew? Oh shit. That's not good. Gosh, you're here. God damn, it took so many bullets, dude. What? You can do that? Also, how do I get out of here? guess he ran. I guess that's a run. I guess he ran. Yeah, he ran. That's a run mechanic, right? Him teleporting out of that. Because he was taking too many shots. He was running. Okay, stop. You gotta stop. Oh, really? Thank God. Oh Lord, crap. Should I turn down the difficulty? Oh my gosh. I think I should. This is a party. Oh, good. What? Really? Wow. Okay. Let's run, please. Oh God. The chain gun one is for me. I know I have it. They don't give me enough pistol ammo. But die again. The difficulty is crazy. Wait. I actually want to beat the game. Thank you very much. I heard that. I know I heard that. Stop it. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I screwed that up. Screwed that up big time. And shotgun. Really? This is so much better. I can actually breathe. That's crazy. I can actually breathe. Hello. I lowered the difficulty, but I'm almost dead anyways. Isn't that crazy? Inconvenient, yeah, awfully. I remember when all those I don't even know what they're called when they're floating. What are those floating heads called? I have no clue. I just know they're ugly as heck and they need to die. Oh my god, I could actually get on this platform. Yeah, these things. Oh, right. Okay. What else do I need? Well, I have this thing, so I can just walk on this, right? How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? Oh no. Oh no. Please don't run out yet. I haven't figured it out yet. Okay. Can I just walk through it? Yeah, I can. Okay. I remember now. That works. Oh Lord. Why do you have to be in the way? You do not have to be there. Filter guy. Hi, how's it going? Not still upset, are you? Right. Oh my, no. Okay. At least I know where to go now. Yeah, at least I know where to go now. Well, at least I thought I did. Let's not despair. Okay. Makes sense. Bye. You mean without rockets? Wait, so how do I... Yellow. Oh. Oh, that was bad. Get to the rescue. Thank God. Oh, Lord. Took way too long to respond to that. Oh, okay. What? Wow, I'm surprised that didn't, like, kill me. Oh, it did. It did affect me. How come the effect didn't go off? How come the animation? Oh, that's weird. We're fine. Just my ego's hurt. Gonna be fine, really. Really. What I tell myself. Come on, you were here before. I remember you. I'm not stupid. Oh, man. Oh my gosh, why aren't you dead? Thank you. Oh, good. Fine. Too much to ask. Shotgun it is. Okay, stop it. Sorry. I didn't kill you. Come on. Stop lying. He is dead. Okay. Looks like he is dead. Back of shells. Oh god. Yeah, let's use them. I mean, you don't deal a lot of damage, but I still hate you. Oh Lord. Okay, sure. Gosh. Oh, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Goodbye. Love. Okay, perfect. Oh yeah. Yeah. Killed him before we went there, right? Ugliness. Just sad. Oh shh. Is that a cyber demon? Just my face. That's all that was. Just my face and my pride. Just. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, I used those bullets. That was stupid. Bullets. Let's not fight him. How was that? It's not gonna come out of there, right? Famous last words. Last time. Oh my gosh, why did you do that? Are you serious? Thank you. Just want these rockets. Ugly little things, aren't they? I don't even know what those are. I think they're called pinkies. I heard one time. Yeah, they're called pinkies. Oh, pigs. Oh. Oh wait, yes they are. Way too much health. Took way too much health. Nice. Wish I had more ammo though. How do I get up there? How do I get up there? Oh wow. Why do I keep missing? I am so dumb. Never enough rockets. Actually, there's enough rockets. The lemon's 100 right now. But I wish I could. Oh my gosh! Get out my face! Get out my face! Personal space. How much health do you have? Where am I supposed to go? Up there, but how do I get up there? For real. Oh wait, I have red key now. I don't think I've used that. Let's go up there, right? How do I get up there? Yeah, that's where I use red key, right? No? Oh, red key. Whoa! Blue key? Don't have blue key. I don't get blue key. Oh, I'm back here again. Okay. Blue key. Where did that come from? Oh. God damn it. Stop. Stop. Oh, I know exactly what's happening. Okay. Hello. Oh god. Hello to you too, second sir. Wait, how do I? Here. Okay. Literally did a double take. Hello. He thinks you aren't serious about killing me, sir. You seem hesitant. A hesitant demon. That's weird. Whoa. Lava. Hello. Red key. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, this not works. Did you just shoot his own guy? Life easier for me, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nothing there? Yeah, I got it. Oh, I see. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Red key. I have 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 red key. Did I always have red key? Yeah, I always had red key. Do I have to run through there? God damn. I was kind of hoping I was gonna get a suit so I could run through there proper without taking damage, but. Oh wait. Wait, that's it? Who's they? The name of the stage is They Will Repent. Who's they? I'm just saying. I'm just asking the real questions here. Who's they? Who are you talking about? Is they in the room with us right now, Doom Guy? Who's they? They. Me? Hope you don't be me. Damn, they will get it. Damn, they will pay. They will suffer. Who's they? Am I they? Why are you so angry? We only ask the real questions here on this channel. Who's they? Who's Doom Guy talking about? Please, don't let it be me. Please, I didn't do anything. I'm just here to hit demons with a shotgun. Lord have mercy if it's me. Whoa, where'd you come from? Oh my god, there's so many here. I can keep on with this joke too. Those guys, those guys that did the thing to me, the terrible thing. You know them. We all know who they are. Don't be quiet. They need to pay. Whoa. I don't know, man. This sounds like you need help. you need help. I think you need somebody to talk to. I think this experience through hell has actually that's appropriate. Yeah, if I went through hell, I would think maybe I'll be going through some stuff too. You know, you need help there, guys. You get to the help you need after this is over. Okay, just don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm just here. I'm just here to have fun. They should pay. Okay. Let's calm down. It's gonna be okay. Did I come through here? I did. This is where I started out. Such a dumb. Probably have the person in your sights before you pop out. Just saying. Lukey. Whoa! Let's look at the map. You're wooed. Low-key. Oh, how do I get over there? I'm in the right place. I just need to know how do I get over there now. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, this works. Oh, stop. Okay. No. We got this. Stop it. Get some help. Oh, wait. Will this open? No, it won't. Need orange. It's a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, it seems like it. Well, at least I have the suit. For now. Until it wears off. Gotta be concerned. No. How do I get over there? I don't think I can get over there. No, I can't. Oh god, no, that's good. Okay. We're safe for now. Oh, that means I can get out of here, right? Perfect. Oh my gosh, I can't get that gun, can I? Wait, can I? Nah, this is lethal. It's not worth it. I don't need it. It'd be nice to have, but I rarely ever use it. That's disgusting. What do you do to people who eat pineapple on pizza? Well, you gotta keep that shit to yourself. How'd I know? Ow. Did I hurt you now? Not very nice. Except when I do it. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Oh, I remember this stage. Oh, it's gonna be a pain, isn't it? Yep. The right spot? I think I am. Yes, I am. Yep. This is right. That's where I know. Oh, good. Oh, I shouldn't have gotten that close. I kind of deserve that one. Where the stick runs out. Really? Wait, what hit me? Okay. You see if you can get over it. That's safe. Nope. Smarts. Of course. Spare one. Skip it. Nope. There isn't. I'm about to die. Ow. Oh my god. I already know. I don't like the fact that I have to do it because I have so little health. And I'm such a sitting duck. There you go. Where'd that come from? Blue key, red key, orange key. Great. Very useful. I'm gonna die again, aren't I? Stop. Can I figure out where to go first before you start shooting things at me? Ow. I'm gonna die. Really rather not. Oh my god. Bryce hasn't shot me yet. Not a wall. I can. Ow! I don't even know where it's coming from. So dead. How did I pass this? Oh, I've been here before. know if that helps me though. It does not at all. Ow. Yeah, let's start over. Did I start it over? No, I had guns. I want to save those guns. Yeah, I had guns. I want to save. I can't just start over. What is that? Is that a hole? Oh, thank God. Well, not really. Okay. Well, at least we're getting somewhere. I got health back. That's good. Yeah, I'm healthier than I was when I went in there. That's a good thing. What exactly are we talking about here? Still. It would be nice if I knew where to go next. I know it revolves around this teleporter. That much I know. Just don't know. Oh, that's where I'm supposed to go. Got you. Okay. No. That makes sense. Okay. That's not gonna be quick though. But still, to pass forward. Ow. Okay. I don't like the sound of that. Oh. What? Get out of here. Like, stop. I don't like my health. The way it's set right now. It's fine. Oh, perfect. And, oh, okay, I got that key. Perfect. Oh my God, I'm 100% health. Oh my God, thank God. Jesus, I was on my deathbed. Dear Lord. Okay, you didn't have to do that. Why did you have to do that? Let me get back over there. I think it's okay. Nope. But important to have full health. Walking over that. Stop. I have yellow key. Why is this going down? Oh, annoying. Did not mean to do that. Oh, I need a red key. Goodbye. He's gonna be here. Oh, he's dead. Okay, perfect. Wait, why do I need this? Wow, one health. That's what you get for just being on one health. So dumb. So dumb. I should have saved earlier. He's gonna shoot me again, isn't he? Ow. Not where I need to be. really wish I knew where that came from. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Where I should have saved. Oh. Wait, seriously? Damn it. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it over. It's fine. Wait, what? Oh, okay. That's what I did. I'll do it over. Red key. Perfect. Okay. Oh my gosh. Private demon. Okay. Motherfucker's gonna one-shot me. Really not looking forward to get one-shotted. Please don't. Please don't one-shot me. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Right. What was the point of that? Oh, okay. No, that works. Thank God. Yeah. Uh-oh. Stop. Whoa! Oh my God. Lovely. Absolutely. Right. What? The ambushes, dude. I'm just gonna carry the chain down. 17? I hear you, you know. Yellow key. Where are the health packs? Where are the health packs? It's a sub. May not be a health pack. I don't like the sound of it. Thank God. Heard that. Oh no, come on. Come out the dark. And this is where blue key is, right? Lovely. Really? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Of course. Shit can't be easy, right? Nope. We gotta make you suffer, bitch. Before you give me this key. What are you talking about? What are we talking about here? This requires blue key, right? Stop. I know where that's coming. I literally have all the keys. Maybe this opens, right? Could be concerned. Oh, good. What else kind of open for it? Alright, what's left? Okay. What? I'd be concerned. I think I should be concerned. Wait, that's a door? Oh shit. Okay. Going. We're not going berserk. I mean, we're going berserk, but now we're not using our fists. Don't do that. Oh. It would have been nice to have earlier, not now. Now it's useless. Oh wait, so I can... Oh yeah, I can go in here, can't I? Oh boy. I didn't know you were here. Wait, where's that coming from? Oh. Only I could see you, I could shoot you. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. Why is this important? Oh. Okay, cool. Onto the cool. Oh boy. Fuck. Yo, all this over pineapples on pizza, man? Y'all better chill. Oh boy, I'm out of bullets. Are they shooting each other? What's that? What a man has to do to get pineapple on his pizza. Supposed to go. Ow! Oh Lord. Personal space. Personal space. If you wanted to kiss me, you just had to ask. Here, because there's this thing called consent, you see. Oh, red key, perfect. Okay. I was lost, but now I'm found. The red key. Oh man. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's just do it. Hey. Oh, damn. Oh my gosh. Try again. Oh, perfect. Oh, what now? Oh my gosh, okay. So, not even the biggest threat here. Okay, seriously, did you have to get in my face like that? So much space. Okay, spider demon, spider demon. Still down there? Yes, he is. We're not doing that. Gosh, it hurts. Wow. You an ugly motherfucker. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Oh wow, he's dead. Thank God. Wait. That's where I came in. Why is there spider demon here? Why the increased difficulty? What's going on? Oh, the level's over. Oh, I beat it. The Spider Mastermind was a set forth. His legions of hell spawned before you. Final confrontation with that terrible beast from hell, but you stepped forward and brought forth eternal damnation and suffering upon the horde. The true hero wouldn't face to do something so evil. Besides, someone was gonna pay for what happened. This is not me to Daisy, your pet rabbit, but now you spread before your more potential pain and gibitude. As a nation of demons were among cities, next stop hell on earth. Okay. Yeah, and that's Doom. That's Doom. That's it. That's all of it. That's the whole game. Yeah. So that was fun. Glad I did that. Second time I played Doom ever. I beat it like a week or two ago, and I thought to myself, and that was the first time I ever like beat Doom. I played Doom before. Like the first time I ever played Doom was when I was like a kid. I just never got around to beating it because there were other things like that were more important. And I played it, and that was when I played the demo. So yeah. Yeah. So if you like what you see, actually, now that I think about it. Now that I think about it. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it anyways. We will do. I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't rated anybody. I had viewers today. I know. Although her streams be short, that's the thing. So I'm not even sure if it's a good idea. She's deep into her stream. I'll just wait 2 minutes. If she just started her stream, I will do it. I need to see how far ahead she is. No, she's deep into her stream. No. She's already like 1 hour and 41 minutes. We're not doing that. So if you like what you see, please follow, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Say hello to Lowell time, to Lowell's for me. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this. Right. That wasn't. I didn't transition right. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine, really.